Welcome to 10 Things we love about one of the all-time classics. It's a game that's come up a few times in other series like Flashback and so on, and it's about time we covered it into 10 things. It's Metal Gear Solid, the third game in the Metal Gear series, the first most of us probably played.
For
sure. Yeah. And as always, we're doing 10 things we love, and afterwards you will find a 10 things we hate video a week later if you're watching this when it goes up. So don't freak out, it's love and hate. So, chances are we're going to double up with some of the more obvious ones in this.
No doubt.
But I'm going to start with one that I reckon you don't have.
Yeah.
Because it's very specific. Rather than going, you want to go story, music and all that, but this one isn't. Right, so my first experience with this game was a demo. And it's a demo that was released in a PlayStation magazine. When, the old dual case CDs used to get.
Yeah.
And the demo was basically the opening of the game, the entire docks area, up to the Hind D, where you crawl through the thing and first speak to Master.
Yeah.
And the demo would end when you get to the part you're supposed to drop down into the main hangar. That's where the demo ended. I played that demo so fucking much.
No, I remember us all having a bit of a play with it and just trying it different ways and seeing if you could get through without getting caught, or seeing how many of the enemies you could kill. The guys wearing the white camouflage. Just like experimenting with it and like choking them out and stuff like that. We really made that short demo go a long way. It was
really did as well. I mean, when it came to actually playing the main game, I always remember being just like really shocked when it was like, oh shit, now I continue.
Yeah,
it's fucking weird.
That's not the whole game.
No, absolutely.
There's much more to it than that.
But as demos go, I think it was one of the best demos I've ever played in my life. As a I need to play the full game. So I love that demo.
That's how you do a demo, especially in those days. That was a good way, because it's a really fun intro. It kind of tests you on all the different mechanics in the game and stuff, so you get kind of a feel for it, and then it leads you into if you get the actual game, which I do actually have a copy of the actual game, but I didn't bring it on for the video.
Oh, no worries. We all know what it looks like.
So my first one is quite an obvious one. I'm sure you have this as well, but it's just simply David Hayter as the voice of Snake. I think his gravelly tone is just iconic. Yeah, I have it as well. Mine's more overall with the voice acting is top notch, but then I added David Hayter as Solid Snake. Yeah. While I had no particular issues with your man in Metal Gear 5, who was it, the actor? Kiefer
Sutherland. That's not Snake. David Hayter is Snake. But overall, the voice acting, I can't think of anyone that's particularly bad.
Oh, it's definitely high quality voice acting in the game, but I just think David Hayter deserves a special mention. He is Snake,
Metal Gear is in an underground maintenance base to the north.
Take me too. I know this place better than you do.
You'll just slow me down. You don't have enough battle experience.
I won't slow you down, I promise.
And what if you do?
Then you can shoot me.
I don't like to waste bullets.
I think Kiefer Sutherland did his own thing, but he wasn't David Hayter.
No, absolutely. I think, it's easily one of the most iconic voices. They say you use the term greatly gravelly.
Have you heard him speak actually in real life? And seeing him do it as well, it's just so cool.
It doesn't even apply certain voices as well. It's like when you see Kevin somebody who does Batman in most of the games.
Kevin Conroy.
That's right, and stuff like that. And it's like, that's Batman. And Mark Hamill's Joker and David Hayter's Snake. You're right, it is. I had it as well. But I'll go next number. You probably have this one. Let's get to it straight away. It's the story. The story is excellent. It's really engaging and interesting. It's complex as fuck, but we'll talk more about that in a different video. But as stories go, from just the start, where you get just dropped in this weird ass, and it's like, wait a minute, so they're going to launch nukes because they want ashes, and it's weird. But as you play through the game, it really does engage you. I think. I
don't have specifically the story as a whole, but I think I touch on little parts of the story that you come up to throughout the game. But
specifics,
it's very a unique story. I mean, it's obviously about terrorism and that sort of stuff. There's a lot of political stuff in there.
Very much so, yeah.
It's very, it's very convoluted, as anyone that has played a Metal Gear Solid game and knows anything about this series will know. It's super convoluted. But I think at least with this game, it started off in quite a more simplistic direction.
Very much so, yeah. It didn't feel worldwide yet.
And then when you start learning stuff about Liquid and the whole Fox Die stuff and all that, when it starts getting, with the ninja guy and stuff, it gets
Cyborg,
Cyborg. It gets more complicated as it goes along, but it still feels more grounded in reality in a way.
Well, now you mentioned as well, what I really liked about the ninja.
I was going to say, that's kind of funny to say that when you got characters like Psycho Mantis.
Yeah.
To say it's grounded in reality is ridiculous. But
they somehow make that feel grounded in reality.
Somehow,
as if that's actually okay, just normal.
They do,
Like the genome soldiers and things like that, and Big Boss's ashes being important and stuff like that. But you're right about, what I was going to say, in regards to things like ninja and all that, you enter that story with a backstory that already exists, and that could be really fucking terrible. because you're like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to know what's going on here and so on. But I actually don't think that actually matters.
Yeah, you can tell there's like a history between these characters, and then they go back and stuff like that. And I'm not sure, like with the first 2 games, like how much the characters are in, previous characters are in that, or what kind of, if it explains their introductions or whatever.
I've read quite a bit actually, because I was really intrigued about Metal Gear 1 and 2, and it is a sequel.
I know in later games, like in 3 and later games, they explain a lot more of the backgrounds of characters. Obviously in 5 as well, they do with a lot of characters. But yeah, obviously you step into this story with all these characters, and they talk like they know each other, like you said. Yeah. So it can be quite a lot. You have to grasp.
And in all good stories as well, it's got a love story effectively thrown in there, and it's got some nice twists and turns, proper twists as well. And at the end, in fact, there's several, not just the Liquid. Well, spoilers, obviously, you're watching this video. Not just the Liquid being revealed as Master Miller, but the fact that you activate Metal Gear, they never could activate it because they killed the DARPA chief and stuff like that. Love stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a perfect like complete B movie action cheese fest, you know, that only Kojima could do so well, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
Alright, so another one is just the gameplay. It's billed as tactical espionage action. Whatever that means. You know, but this wasn't the kind of game where you'd go in all guns blazing. You know, you could do that, but if you go into a room full of enemies and went in all guns blazing and set off all the alarms and stuff, you're going to be in trouble. Yeah.
I mean, I've got something kind of like that, more about the stealth, and for me it was my first real experience where I felt stealth was important, where it actually made a difference to the gameplay. Well, it isn't like a Dishonored game where you can play it all the way through in stealth mode. That's just not possible. There are sections where you will have to fight.
Yeah, where alarms are set off. Beyond your control.
So
you know, it was all about working out your surroundings. You know, you figuring out how to distract certain guards, get past them, and figuring the locations of security cameras because they can catch you really easily. Yeah,
I think particularly the first quarter of it. You know, before you fight Revolver Ocelot, that's probably the most stealth heavy part, because you can effectively get all the way through that to the cell with the DARPA chief. And I think that all of that stealth, like, there's no reason to have a fight there.
Yeah, there's lots of areas you can get through completely unseen.
Yeah.
But the gameplay is just cool. Like, you know, you have to really think about how to get your way from A to B, and you know, it presents you with lots of different scenarios, and it requires some genuine thought, which is cool.
So I did one as well. So you go next.
All right. I'll let touch on the obvious ones, but the music.
Of course, I've got it as well.
And it's not just the music. There's a lot of cool and memorable sound effects from the game. You know, the sound of a guard spotting you, flicking through your items, the sound of shooting a gun, and even the sound of punching an enemy, you know, the air shot sound it makes.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
And just the actual soundtrack of the game itself is actually fantastic. One of my favourites is the soundtrack that plays in the opening cutscene. It's called The Best Is Yet to Come.
Yep, the one that plays at the end as well.
It's really like memorable, emotional piece of music.
Gets weird though.
It's like unique, but I think it like somehow fits, you know.
Right, so I'm gonna also talk about music. I want to talk about something specific, not necessarily the Metal Gear. Right, so here's the thing, right. This piece of music is more memorable for Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, and basically it's the one that plays at the intro, the over-the-top super action thing where Snake jumps down to the boat and all that. Now, this isn't in Metal Gear Solid. However, it was the trailer music. I don't know if you remember the trailer of Metal Gear Solid, which was basically filled with gameplay as well, and it had that, not the exact same one, but a very similar one. And I always remember because it ends with that super, super high bit, and in the demo, the trailer, it was where Snake was laying C4 and then sounding them all off. And that, I love that. I mean, that's my favourite Metal Gear piece of music as well. But I love that you touched on the sound effects.
Yeah, but also, of course, you know, the music that plays during when there's a red alert, you know, that has to be one of the tensest pieces of music put in a video game ever, and it's just so memorable.
So iconic is the sound effects that a movie, Wreck-It Ralph, which was obviously video game based, would actually also throw in these certain the sound of a guard alert the alert
won't do
tone.
an impression of it, but we all know what it is if you've heard it.
Yes. Yeah. Right then, unusual characters. So we got things like Vulcan, Raven, Psycho Mantis, Sniper Wolf are 3 that I pulled out of the best of the unusual characters. Weirdly enough, like when I was younger, I didn't really care for a lot of these. When I was thinking back to it and all that, I was thinking, man, I actually think Vulcan Raven might be like my favourite because of his whole sort of a native attitude and how he talks and stuff like that. But yeah, it's got some really, really unusual, interesting characters that you want to know more about.
Yeah, for sure.
Psycho Mantis is a great one.
Yeah, I'll come on to him. He's potentially one of mine as well, just him specifically. But,
okay.
I have just, again, the characters in general. You know, I think Snake himself, he's the perfect sort of anti-hero type of character. And then you have Liquid and his weird band of villains. Quite a weird
How the fuck
bunch.
does that group come together?
Yeah.
What happens at those meetings?
Yeah, they're almost something you'd expect to see out of like a Batman comic.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole ensemble of them is just, they're quite an interesting bunch. But yeah, they are interesting.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
I mean, that's brilliant, yeah. I'm going to tie into this next one as well, but also some of the boss battles for me are great. Now, they're not all great. There are some that are a bit ho-hum, particularly on replay value. But Sniper Wolf is fantastic. It feels like a sniper battle. It's incredible. I love the tank battle, which is with Vulcan Raven the first time. I love the fact trying to aim a fucking grenade, although it's a lot easier than you would expect, into the hole.
Yeah.
And I love Liquid's the fist fight with Liquid, even though it's long and it's drawn out and it's over the top. What a wicked battle to end on, fist fighting on the top of Metal Gear. Yeah, that's fantastic.
They all actually, it delivers quite a lot of unique boss battles that, all make you try different things.
Yep.
Try and force you into different scenarios and stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
To try out the different weaponry that you have at hand, yeah. So there's some really good ones. It's quite a random one maybe, but I think the codec is quite a unique thing for the time, especially for the time. The way it displays the conversations you could have just had them two characters just talking through audio.
Yeah.
But it displays their faces on screen talking and stuff, and I think that it's unique, and I thought that's you just wouldn't think of Metal Gear without that,
No, you're right, and it's easy to kind of forget it's not just a story tool. You could use it as much as you wanted. Annoy characters by talking to them too much. It was the save feature, stuff like that. Yeah, I think you kind of overlook the codec because you're so used to it. And it's like actually it was quite an ingenious little touch.
Yeah, for the time, especially like when you have to figure out Meryl's codec and stuff, and I believe that it was on the back
of the box,
and stuff like that. Yeah, just unique. So, it's almost like using like a phone like in a game. It's just different,
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I got 3 more. So great replay value, win unlockables, and more. So obviously one of the biggest things is who you might end a game with, be it Meryl or Otacon. I never say his name. Octagon.
Yeah, Octagon. I think it's spelled Octagon, I swear.
Yeah. But yeah, so like you would finish with 1 and you would get a bonus of a stealth suit if you finish with Octagon. Which would replaying the game with that is completely different. And the bandana for infinite ammo with Meryl. So there's that stuff as well. So it kind of gave you nice replay value in that sense as well. So you guaranteed at least 2 playthroughs, maybe 3 if you want to experience one where you basically, I've got no limitation on ammo. Not that was really important because I don't remember ever ammo being an issue in the game.
No, not really. It was quite generous.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just nice to have a game that big where it's like, okay, at the end we have a reason to go back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so I said I was going to come to this, so I'll touch on it now. We spoke about the characters, but I think the Psycho Mantis boss fight specifically deserves a special mention due to how memorable it is. Yeah. I think it's one that a lot of people remember most about
Probably
the
game. Most, yeah.
The way he gets inside of Snake's head and the players as well. The way he breaks the 4th wall, which was quite unique at the time as well. And, of course, the whole way that he makes you change your controller to different ports. That's just so clever. I still don't understand
that level
how they did it.
It's like, it's coding and how the game is written, but like...
You don't really see that even done today. I know we got wireless controllers, but...
No, and even because it was something we didn't experience, only heard about it, but because we didn't I don't remember having Konami games, but the fact that if you had Konami-related games on your memory card, he would talk about them.
Could read them, I just think it's a really unique boss fight.
That's right. This is no trick. It's true power. Did you useless, I told you. I can read your every thought. Now let me read your mind. No, perhaps I should say your past. You are a very methodical man, the type that always kicks his tires before he leaves. You are a highly skilled warrior, well suited to this stealth mission. You are extremely careful of traps. You are either very cautious, or you are a coward. Still don't believe me? Now I'll read more deeply into your soul. I can see into your mind. So, you like Suikoden? So, you like Azure Dreams? You like Castlevania, don't you?
Possibly one of the best ever.
Well, continuing that, talking about clever touches in the game, I love clever little touches in the game, such as how to get the wolves not to attack you, which is really clever.
Yeah.
The prison break, be it hide under bed, use the ketchup.
Yeah.
That. Yeah.
That is actually. I might as well go on to my next one as well, which is the whole prison break segment.
Yep.
You know, I wasn't a fan of the whole torture segment, as you know. I'm sure you were a fan of it because you were so good at button bashing.
We'll get to that in another video.
But yeah, I wasn't like very great at button bashing, so I found that quite difficult.
Yeah.
However, I just love the different ways that you can escape your cell in that whole scenario. You know, Otacon can bring you ketchup that you can use to make it look like you're dead. The guard will come in and you're laying there with this pool of what he thinks is blood.
Yep.
And so he'll run out to alert the other guards, or you can hide under the bed and the guard will think you're gone.
Yep.
And if you fail enough times, Grey Fox himself will come to your rescue.
That's right. He'll come and let you out. Yeah.
So there's just so many different things you can play around with.
You can annoy the fuck out of that guard as well by banging on the wall constantly. Shut up, you! Yeah.
And he has like really bad diarrhea, doesn't he? Or something.
He's the one from the earlier in the game that gets knocked up by Meryl.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's a rough time, that poor guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a great segment. I just love the whole part.
Right, I got one more. How many more you got?
I got 3.
All right, do 2 in a row then.
Okay, well, this is a bit of a random one again. But I was struggling a little bit because I've touched on a lot of the major ones.
It's big scale ones, yeah.
Yeah, but I just think cigarettes was quite a unique feature in the game. Only Kojima could have thought this up seriously. Like, they can be used to steady your nerves when shooting a sniper rifle.
Yep.
Which I'm not sure what sense that really makes.
As a smoker, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I guess so. I can steady your nerves, yeah, sure. Or better yet, the smoke can be used if you're smoking near tripwires.
That's
lasers,
right.
The smoke will expose the lasers.
Yep.
Yeah, and
but it takes the health off.
So, I added in also that it was interesting. The game didn't want to promote smoking too much, so it had it that it would drain your health at the same time.
Yeah.
I just think it's such a small feature, something so tiny, but Kojima really put thought into it, and I thought that was pretty cool.
It's a little touch, yeah.
So another one, another Kojima thing. The cardboard box as a stealth tool is just fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, it's so ridiculous, and yeah, I mean, you can use it in so many hilarious ways to hide from guards and to surprise them and stuff. You know, you can go right up to them and you can pop out of the box, and it's just really funny. Yeah,
and it actually works as well. You position the box in the right place, they won't even look at it. Put it in their path.
It got far more in depth as time went on. It became like a staple of the franchise.
It became a joke. Yeah.
You can get different versions and whatnot, but yeah.
Cool. Right, my last one, and it's simply I'd never played a game this big. And it's still up there, although like nowadays in comparison to open world stuff and all that, but you're talking about release on PlayStation 1. I never played anything that felt so fucking huge, map wise, not just that, but like the scale of the story and things like that. It's just a massive game, and it sticks in the memory for that very reason. Yeah,
like you talked about the characters and them conversing and stuff, and you feel like there's something really grand scale going on here. It feels huge what's going on, really important. But yeah, it's definitely a massive game for sure.
Yeah.
My last one is probably a predictable one if you know me. But
Yeah, it's Sniper Wolf, isn't
It's
it?
the Sniper Wolf death scene. I just think it's a really stunning scene. The music, the dialogue, and the sadness that you feel for her and Otacon, you know.
I am no longer the wolf I was born to be. In the name of vengeance, I sold my body and my soul. Now I am nothing more than a dog.
Wolves are noble animals. They're not like dogs. In Yupik, the word for wolf is Keglanek, and the Aleuts revere them as honorable cousins. They call mercenaries like us dogs of war. It's true. We're all for sale at some price or another. But you're different. Untamed. Solitary. You're no dog. You're a wolf.
Obviously, you can only feel so much sadness because she kind of brought on herself by trying to snipe down Snake. I mean, what was she thinking?
We're still a
Big
villain,
mistake.
yeah.
But it humanized her in a way, and it made you see a different angle of the villains. How it's not, they're like shades of grey more than just complete evil or good. They're just more in the middle. They're human beings, you know.
I would argue with that as well. Times that barring maybe the likes of Revolver Ocelot. And Liquid himself, most of the villains aren't villainous in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, they seem to have a reason.
They're mercenaries.
Yeah.
They're being paid, you know, but...
No different to Snake, he just happens to be on the other side.
Yeah. But like anytime after her death, when you hear like a wolf howl, like it just makes you think of that scene. Or anytime I've heard that in real life or wherever, in anything, it brings me back to that scene. You know, I think it's
You hear many
really
wolves
powerful.
howling, do you?
No, I mean, not in real life, but like if you heard it in a TV show or something, it just made me think of this particular scene.
Yeah, you're right. I expected Sniper Wolf because I know you're a fan of it as well.
Yeah.
But there you go. There's our 10 things we love about Metal Gear Solid. Of course, we're going to be doing 10 things we hate, so make sure you check that out. That's going to be a lot more fun. And thank you for watching, and hit that like and subscribe button.